Ranger's Apprentice, The Siege of Macindaw, Book 6. Let's embark on an epic journey through the kingdom of Araluen, where treachery hides in the shadows, and where a young ranger must use all his cunning to save not only his friends, but the very kingdom from a devastating invasion. The story begins in a surprising way. Gundar Hardstriker, Scandian captain of the ship Wolfcloud, is desperate. His ship has been destroyed in a storm, and he and his crew are stranded in Araluen, with no hope of return. But something even worse has happened. John Buttle, a prisoner whom Gundar was taking as a slave to Scandia, has escaped, and not only escaped, he murdered 2 men in the process, cutting the throat of one and striking another, before jumping into the river and disappearing on the opposite bank. But when all seems lost, a familiar figure emerges from the shadows of the forest. It is Will Treaty, the young ranger, wrapped in his camouflaged cloak that seems to merge with the forest itself. And he brings an extraordinary proposal. Will needs warriors. He needs to take a castle, and he has heard that the Scandians are very good at that. Meanwhile, in Castle Macindaw, a dark situation is unfolding. Alice, the young and brilliant courier, is imprisoned in the castle tower. Karen, a knight everyone believed to be loyal, has revealed his true nature. He is a traitor. He has slowly poisoned Lord Siren, the commander of the castle, until he is nearly dead. He forced Orman, Siren's son, to flee into the forest, and now he controls Macindaw. But Karen possesses a weapon even more insidious than his sword. He has a blue gemstone, a hypnotic object that he uses to control Alice's mind. When he shows her the stone, Alice feels her will dissolve. She cannot resist. She must obey his every command. It is a form of dark magic, of mesmerism, and it leaves Alice completely defenseless. Karen is plotting something much greater than simply taking a castle. He is conspiring with the Scotti, the fierce warriors of the Northern Highlands. A Scotti general named Macadish has visited the castle secretly, and together they plan something terrible. The Scotti intend to invade Norgate Fief with an army of 200 men. Macindaw is the key. If the Scotti control the castle, they will be able to use the mountain passes to bring in even more warriors and permanently occupy Araluen territory. That would mean war, a long and bloody war that could last for years. Will knows that he must act quickly, but he does not have an army. He has 25 hungry and desperate Scandians. He has his best friend Horace, the young knight whose swordsmanship is legendary. And he has Malcolm, the healer who lives hidden in the depths of Grimsdale Forest, a man everyone believes to be Malcallum, the terrible black sorcerer. Malcolm is not a sorcerer, of course, but he is brilliant. He has created illusions, tricks with light and sound that make people believe that demons and giant warriors haunt the forest. He uses mist and magical lanterns to project terrifying images. He uses hollow tubes to make sounds seem to come from everywhere at once. And now Will needs to use these illusions to create the greatest deception of all. The plan is bold and desperate. They cannot simply attack the castle. With only 27 men against a garrison of 35, they would be slaughtered. So Will devises a brilliant strategy. During the afternoon, he and Horace push a strange cart toward the western wall of the castle. It is a covered cart, with a slanted roof made of thick planks and a scaling ladder tied to the top. The defenders shoot arrows at them, but the planks protect them. Then, when they are only 20 meters from the wall, one of the cart's wheels collapses. The cart tips over to the side. The Scandians who are pushing it run back to the trees, apparently in panic. The defenders laugh and jeer. They think they have repelled the attack. But what they do not know is that Will and Horace are still hidden beneath the broken cart. They stay there motionless, silent, for hours. As day turns to night, as the broken cart becomes part of the landscape, something the guards stop noticing. And then, when night falls and the moon sets, Malcolm begins his show. On the southern side of the castle, terrifying images begin to appear in the mist. The Night Warrior, a gigantic dark figure, materializes against the fog. A pulsing dragon appears and vanishes. Red demonic faces rise into the sky and explode in showers of sparks. Sounds of macabre laughter echo through the forest. The guards are terrified. They run to the southern wall, convinced that supernatural forces are attacking. And it is at that moment that Will and Horace emerge from under the cart, grab the ladder, and run the 20 meters to the western wall. The battle that follows is fierce. Horace climbs the ladder like lightning and leaps over the wall in a spectacular somersault, landing among the defenders and striking them down with his sword before they can react. Will follows him, his arrows whizzing through the night, felling any man who tries to stop the Scandians now climbing up the ladder. Niels Ropehander, the scarred Scandian whom Horace had knocked out weeks earlier and who is now one of his most loyal followers, leads the charge. His battle-axe swings in deadly arcs, and the defenders retreat in terror before the fierce northern warriors. The battle is won quickly. Keren's men, in truth merely criminals and bandits he has recruited, have no courage to fight against Scandians. They surrender or flee. But Will knows that the work is not finished. He must find Keren, and he must rescue Alice. Will runs to the tower, climbing the spiral staircase. Keren has left men to delay him, and Will must use all his skill to get past them. In a brilliant moment, he uses his bow to ricochet arrows off the curved stone walls, sending them flying around the bend to hit the hidden defender he cannot see. When he finally reaches the top of the tower, Will finds a nightmare scene. Alice is holding a sword, the blade pointed downward, the hilt at eye level. In the hilt is the blue stone, and she is staring at it, completely hypnotized. Keren is cornered, but he is smiling, because he knows that Will never be able to harm him. If Will shoots Keren, Alice will kill Will. Keren has programmed this into her mind. The tension is unbearable. Keren orders Alice to kill Will. She begins to advance, sword raised. Will aims his arrow at her, but they both know he will never shoot. Then he points it at Keren. But if he kills Keren, Alice will kill him immediately afterward. It is a perfect stalemate, and it is slowly becoming clear to Will that there is no way out. He will die here, or Alice will die, or both. But Will cannot allow Alice to live with the memory of having killed her best friend. So, at the most critical moment, he does the only thing he can do. He tells the truth. "Alice," he says calmly, "I love you, I always have." And those words, simple and true, break the spell. Alice screams in horror as she realizes what she was about to do. She throws the sword away and collapses to the floor, sobbing. Keren grabs the sword and attacks Will. The fight is desperate. Will is armed only with his sax knife against Keren's long sword. He is losing. Keren's sword is about to pierce his throat when Alice, recovering from her shock, acts. She grabs the bottle of acid that Will had left behind weeks earlier, the acid she had been using to corrode the bars of the window, and she throws the contents into Keren's face. His scream is terrible. The acid burns his skin and eyes. He staggers around the room in blind agony, striking the walls. And then, in his frantic movement, he stumbles backward against the window. The bars, weakened by the acid, give way, and Keren falls from the tower, his scream stretching through the night until it is abruptly silenced when he hits the courtyard below. The castle is retaken. Keren's garrison surrenders. The Scandians agree to stay and defend Macindaw until a relief force arrives from Castle Norgate. In exchange, Ormond will give them timber and resources to build a new ship. Will gives Shadow, his border collie, to Trobar, the gentle giant who was wounded in the battle defending the castle. It is a heartbreaking moment, but Will knows that the dog and the giant love each other and that she belongs to him now. And then come the farewells. Will, Horace, and Alice must go their separate ways. Horace returns to Castle Araluen, Alice returns to Castle Redmont, and Will goes to Seacliff Fief, but there is unresolved tension between Will and Alice. He said that he loved her. She heard it. But Keren had said that she would not remember anything that happened while she was hypnotized. So does she remember? Does she feel the same? Neither of them has the courage to ask. They say goodbye with a kiss, not on the cheek, but on the lips, and for a long moment they hold each other. But then Will steps away, unable to bear more farewells. He rides away and never looks back. Back in Seacliff, Will is lonely. The beautiful innkeeper's daughter, with whom he had been friendly, has married while he was away. He feels that there is nothing for him here except work and solitude. But then a letter arrives. It is from Alice. She writes about a strange dream that she keeps having, a dream in which she is about to hurt him, but then he says something wonderful that breaks Karen's control over her. Horace told her that it might not be a dream, it might be a memory, and if it is true, she wants Will to know something. "I love you." Will wastes no time writing a reply. He grabs his saddlebags, his new and beautiful mandola that Ormond has sent him, and rides to Castle Redmont. He can be there in 3 days, and for the first time in weeks, Will feels something he had forgotten: happiness. The next book, Erac's Ransom, will take us in a completely different direction. Will and Holt will travel to the desert of Arida on a rescue mission, and there they will face not only human enemies, but the harsh desert environment itself. It is an adventure that will test Will in ways he never imagined. I hope you loved this story as much as I loved telling it. Please leave in the comments which other series you would like to see here on the channel. Subscribe so you do not miss the next adventures of Will Treaty and his friends, and do not forget to leave a like to support the content.